Hi, and welcome to lesson number 17 of the Fundamentals of Slovenian Grammar course. So in the last two lessons, we started talking about verb conjugation in Slovenian. So basically how to say I work, you work, he, she works, and so on in Slovenian. So today we'll have a look at specific examples. So we will practice all of the theory we've learned so far. But before that, let's just review everything we've covered. So we have our two worlds, the world of nouns, the world of verbs, the properties, word types and properties, and this is the part of the diagram we're talking about right now. And so last time we had a look at verb conjugation, and this is how you conjugate verbs in Slovenian. So you just take apart the ti from the rest of the infinitive. That first part is called the stem. The ti is called the ending, and then you just replace the red ti with a m or a sh or nothing, or va, ta, ta, or mo, te, yo. Now, the first part is the infinitive stem, and if a verb is regular, then the present tense stem is the same. Basically, it stays the same, and you can just take the infinitive as it is and replace the t. With irregular verbs, however, the infinitive stem, when going from the infinitive stem to the present tense stem, that part can change considerably or even completely, but after that it's predictable. The endings are always the same in Slovenian. So dela could potentially go crazy. It doesn't, because it's a regular verb, but it could potentially go crazy. But once it has gone crazy, it's the same through all 9 forms, which is why we use the same color for all 9 forms, the orange. Now, with irregular verbs, which PT was our example of a irregular verb, if we did not know that it's an irregular verb, then we would assume that we conjugated by going pim, piš, pi, piva, pita, pita, pimo, pite, pijo. But we learn that it's actually pije, and then we know that it's pijem, piješ, pije, pijeva, pijeta, pijeta, pijemo, pijete, and pijejo. And that's pretty much it on regular versus irregular verbs. So let's practice what we've learned. So before we have a look at these examples, everything you need for today's lesson is just what's on screen right now. So take a piece of paper or whatever works best for you to just have in mind these m, sh, nothing, va, ta, ta, mo, te, yo. Because what we will be doing today is we will kind of reverse engineer. So it's always more important in Slovenian, rather than to learn things linearly from like the first to the last of whatever it is we're learning with. It's much more important to practice by kind of figuring out what a word is saying that we find in a Slovenian text. And I kind of say reverse engineering, but basically it's more useful to practice seeing the word delam and then figuring out who is working. Now, maybe this exercise isn't set up in the best way possible because these questions seem to throw off every single one of my students, but it's basically the question below tells you what the verb is in Slovenian. So who is working? You know that delam is to work for someone. Now, is it the two of us work? Is it the two of you work? Is it they work? That's what we're trying to figure out here. So the first example, the first thing we will do is we will break it up into dela plus m, and then you can have a look at your chart at the table of endings and just figure out what a final m is, and a final m is jas. Now, jas, there's only one jas in Slovenian, of course. It's just, there's no difference for gender, but I do make a point to write a blue jas and a purple jas because even though we don't have two unique signatures for those two things, even though it's just the word jas, it can be a male jas or it can be a female jas, and that then is evident with other words that have gender. So for example, with adjectives, or it's also evident in the past tense or the future tense. Basically, it is useful to think of a blue jas and a purple jas is all I'm saying. That's why I write jas like that, and I also write t like that. Even though there's just one t, I write a male t and a female t. Now, the fourth step we will do in this exercise is we will think about what the infinitive is. So how do we get the infinitive? Well, we just replace the M, the red M, with a TI. So it is delati, and delati means to work. And this is the format of this exercise, so let's just go through all of the examples. And again, if you want to do this actively, just pause and try figuring it out on your own. Gleda. Who is watching? Zero ending on ona. Gledati, to watch. Čakaš. Who is waiting? Čakaš. Ti. Čakati, to wait. Kuhajo. Kuhajo. Who is cooking? The ending is jo. Kuhajo. You can check what jo means. Jo is they. Oni or one. But the most important thing is that you know they. So don't stress if it's like too complicated to know oni and one and midva, and because it is too complicated. The most important thing is for you to say in English they, or you all, or he, she, and so on. Kuhati. Poslušam. Who is doing the listening? Poslušam, which makes it just like delam, our first example, that is jaz. And it is poslušati, to listen. And so we will just be dealing with these 5 verbs. In the next 4 slides, we have a total of 5 slides. It's always either delati or gledati or čakati, kuhati, poslušati. To work, to watch, to wait, to cook, and to listen. And all of them obviously are regular verbs. Poslušamo. So it's poslušamo. We. Mi, me. Poslušati. Delava. Delava. Midva, the two of us, or we two. Delati. Kuhata. Here we have the ta ending, which is ambiguous. Ta, we said, can always be either you two or they two, like the two of you or the two of them. So the ta one is always going to be the most complicated one, and there are no less than 4 pronouns in total just for ta. It can be vidva or vidve, you two, male, female, ona dva, oni dve. The two of them, male, female. That's kuhati. Gledajo, gledajo. It is they. Gledati. Čakamo, čakamo. Who is waiting? Just like poslušamo in the first example, it is we, mi, me. Čakati. Ne delava. So the way we negate a verb in Slovenian, the vast majority of the time, just 3 exceptions to this rule, in the present tense, we negate it just by putting ne in front of the verb. It's important to know that ne and the verb together is considered one unit, one kind of cohesive unit. They have to kind of stay together. So it's always ne right in front of the verb. Ne delava, who isn't working. The ne is not important. We're just interested in the va, dela, va, and that is the two of us, we two, midva, midve, delati. Kuha, who is cooking? That's a 0 ending. Kuha, on, ona, kuhati. Ne poslušate. Who isn't listening? It's the te ending. I think this is the first time we have te in these examples. It is you, plural, poslušate. And the infinitive is poslušati. Čakata. Who is waiting? We have the ta ending, the trickiest one, so it can be you two, they two. Čakata. This is a mistake of mine. It should not say čakatata. It's just čaka and then ta. Vidva, vidve, ona dva, oni dve. Čakati. Gledava. Who is watching? Gledava. Midva, midve. Gledati, to watch. Ne kuham. Who doesn't cook or who isn't cooking? There's no difference. Ne kuham can be both. Doesn't cook, isn't cooking. These questions are sometimes very weird sounding. The point is just to get through this exercise, of course. Ne kuham. Who doesn't cook, who isn't cooking? Kuham. Jas or I. Kuhati. Čakam. Same as kuham. Čakam. Who is waiting? Jas. Čakati. Ne poslušajo. Jo is they, plural. Jo. Poslušajo. Oni, one. Poslušati. Ne gledaš. Who isn't watching? Š ending, gledaš, which is ti. Gledati. Delamo. Who is working? Mi, me, which is we. Mo is we all. delati, to work. Čakate, who is waiting? Te can only be čakate, you plural. Vi ve čakati. Ne delajo, jo is they. Delati. Gledava, va is the two of us, we two. Gledati. Kuhata, we have ta, it's always ambiguous. It can be you two or they two. So ne kuhata literally means you two don't cook or are not cooking, both. Or the two of them, they two don't cook or are not cooking. You two, they two, kuhati. Ne poslušaš, so it's poslušaš. Ti, you, singular, poslušati. Oh, I thought there was one more slide, but apparently not. Anyway, this is very important to practice. Very, very important. So much more important than just going linearly. Like, of course you can learn, and it's useful to learn, like delam, delaš, dela, delava, delata, delata. But it's also important to break that pattern then. Because, like, for example, I've known the alphabet pretty much all of my life, but I've never learned to use it effectively. So I've never taken the time to break it down. And so every time I have to think where a certain letter is, I have to start from the beginning and make my way through that letter. That's hardly efficient for using the alphabet. And similarly, knowing these just from the first to the last is useful, but you should break that pattern also. And it's all about figuring out what is said in a Slovenian text or sentence. And so I call that kind of reverse engineering. It's kind of taking certain pieces of information and figuring out what they're telling you by knowing the rules of Slovenian grammar. So what we've just been doing today, that works if the verb is regular, because nothing irregular happens, or rather figuring out the infinitive works if the verb is regular. Now if the verb is irregular, then the infinitive will be slightly different, because there's just no way for us to know ahead of time that something changes there. But right now, this is the most important thing we should focus on, and next time we'll do the exact same thing, only with 5 different verbs, because again, this is just so important to practice. So yeah, I hope you find this useful. I hope it's not too stressful or tricky. And yeah, just continue doing what you're doing, and good luck on your Slovenian journey. So see you in the next lesson.